What if the main reason you're bad at mathematics has almost nothing to do with intelligence? You may have spent years memorizing formulas, copying proofs, and solving exercises, but according to David Bessis, that may be exactly why mathematics felt impossible. His argument is provocative. Mathematics is not mainly calculation. It is the art of learning to see. Think about a typical classroom. You receive a definition, a theorem, and perhaps 198 steps explaining the proof. But nobody shows you what the idea looks like inside the mind of someone who understands it. It is like receiving instructions for assembling a toaster without being told what a toaster is. You can follow every step and still understand nothing. This matters beyond mathematics. You can repeat an economic theory, memorize history, or use an investment formula without truly seeing what connects the facts. The problem is not missing information. It is missing the mental picture that makes information meaningful.
My guest is mathematician and author David Bessis. His book is Mathematica, A Secret World of Intuition and Curiosity. David, welcome to Econ Talk.
No, I just wanted to say I'm delighted to be here.
Bessis became a professional mathematician and later left academia to build an artificial intelligence company. Mathematica is his attempt to explain what mathematicians actually do before the symbols appear. For me, it is one of the most important books I've read about learning itself. The book's first bold claim is simple. If an idea is not obvious, you have not understood it yet. Take a circle and a straight line. Can the line cross the circle at exactly 3 points? You probably know immediately. No. But you did not search your memory for a theorem. You created a small animation in your head. You moved the line and watched the possible intersections. The answer became visible. That is mathematical reasoning. The formal proof comes later. Bessis argues that great mathematicians do the same thing with harder objects. William Thurston trained himself to visualize space so intensely that he learned to think about 4 and 5 dimensions. Thurston had severe congenital strabismus and could not naturally combine both eyes' images into normal depth perception. So he had to construct a spatial understanding deliberately. That trained imagination helped him formulate the geometrization conjecture in 1982. It included the Poincaré conjecture, unsolved since 1904, and later carrying a $1 million prize.
That's a car. I use echolocation, it's like just like a click. Oh, okay, it's a truck, I think. I just click my tongue, and then it'll hit whatever it hits, and then it'll come back to my ears.
Ben Underwood lost both eyes at the age of 3 due to retinal cancer. Refusing to use a cane or a guide dog, he taught himself to perceive space by clicking his tongue. By analyzing the echo of these clicks of his surroundings, he developed a uniquely precise form of human echolocation. This highly advanced sonar mapping allowed him to ride a bike, play basketball, and run smoothly, redefining the limits of human sensory perception. The lesson is not that you should visualize 5 dimensions or figure out the setup of your house by clicking your tongue tonight. It is this. Before memorizing an explanation, ask what you are supposed to see. Draw it, move it, turn it into a physical object, a story, or map. Language can describe an idea. Only a mental model lets you use it. But what happens when your mental model is wrong? Bessis' second claim is more uncomfortable. You cannot learn deeply without being wrong. Alexandre Cotentin deliberately made tentative statements before he knew whether they were true. Many were completely wrong. That was the point. A wrong idea gave him something to test. He could write it down, find where it broke, and rebuild it. The book offers a brutal line. Being afraid of error and being afraid of truth are the same thing. Think about a child learning to walk. The child does not study balance equations before standing. The child stands, falls, adjusts, and tries again. Falling is not evidence of an inability to walk. Falling is how the nervous system learns balance. Yet, schools often treat mathematical error as evidence of low ability. So, students stop experimenting. They wait until they understand before acting. But understanding is produced by acting. When an idea feels unclear, make a guess. Draw the wrong picture. Explain it in embarrassingly simple language. Then find where intuition and logic disagree. That disagreement is not failure. It is the location of your next mental upgrade. Imagine placing a 2-year-old inside an aircraft cockpit. The child presses every flashing button. An adult touches nothing, afraid of looking foolish. Learning often begins when you recover some of the child's courage. But courage alone is insufficient. Wrong intuition must meet precision. The book's third claim is its most practical. Intuition can be trained. Bessis describes creativity as a loop. You imagine something, you express it precisely. The language exposes weaknesses in the image. You revise the image and write again. Imagination and logic keep correcting each other. This is why mathematicians write while researching. Writing is not merely a record of completed thought. Writing is part of the thought. Thurston observed that 2 experts might explain a result privately in minutes. A lecture could require an hour. A formal paper might require 15 or 20 pages. The idea did not become more complex. Translation made it longer. You can apply this anywhere. After reading a difficult argument, close the book and explain it to an intelligent 12-year-old. Where your explanation becomes vague, your understanding is vague. Where you hide behind terminology, you probably lack a picture. Then return, rebuild the model, and try again. This is also why Bessis advises against always reading difficult books from page 1. Start with the 4 lines that genuinely interest you. Let curiosity pull you backward toward the definitions you need. Make the book serve your question. Do not become the servant of its page numbers. So, are you bad at mathematics? Perhaps. But Mathematica suggests a more useful possibility. Maybe you were trained to perform mathematics before you were taught to experience it. You were shown symbols without images, answers without curiosity, correctness without the freedom to be wrong. This book does not promise that mathematics will become easy. It argues that mathematical ability is less like possessing a rare gene and more like learning to swim, ride a bicycle, or see a pattern that was previously invisible. My verdict is strong. This should be read by students, teachers, parents, lifelong learners, and anyone taught to confuse memorization with understanding. The next time an idea feels impossibly difficult, do not ask, what formula am I missing? Ask, what am I not seeing yet? Then draw one picture, make one guess, explain it once in your own words. That is where understanding begins.